Okay, so the first equation on Desmos is graph the equation, the following equation, but it's the instruction says you can't graph it. So you need to find an equivalent equation. So we already know that we could graph it. It's in the format of y equals mx plus b. However, we cannot graph it. So we know, make sure you put a box, that our starting point is 0, negative 4. That is your y-intercept. We know that, right? However, the m, it has to change. This m has to change, right? So we got to make it simpler, meaning simpler numbers. That's the way I always remember simplify, simpler numbers, made it easier for me to understand it. So let's go ahead and simplify it. M is equal to 15 over 45. Now, can I divide? A lot of you guys said it's easier to divide. Well, I could divide by 5, top and bottom, and that'll give me 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 45 divided by 5 is 9, because 9 times 5 is 45. So there's your new m. So now all you have to do is rewrite the the equation with the new m. So there you go. Y equals 3 over 9x minus 4. Sorry, move this. Minus 4. Now the minus 4 is still the same. So now all you have to do, you're not going to type anything. That's all you got to do. This is what you got. I'm sorry, you're not going to write anything. All you got to do is type the new equation, but you got to show me the work. You can't just write the new equation without work. However, if you look at this, I could keep going, right? I can't stop there because I could divide by 3, and that gives me 1 over 3. See that? 1 over 3. So your equation should be 1 over 3. They're the same. However, you want to simplify it as much as possible, okay? Because if you do the graph, they'll still hit the line, all right? So what are we doing? We're rise. The slope is rise over run. So you're going to go up 1 and 3 to the right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. You should know how to graph these because we did quite a few last week. So let me go ahead and check your work, all right? Here we go. Yeah, let me see. Woo! So the graph, how should the graph look like? So remember, all you got to do is with your starting point, right? Your starting point is negative 4. Remember your negative 4 right here. That's your negative 4. So it's always on your y. So your negative 4. Okay, your negative 4, and then your rise over run. 1, 1, 2, 3. Mark it. 1, 1, 2, 3. Mark it. And keep going as far as you can go, and then do the opposite. Do the opposite. And it should be a straight line. All right. So here's number 2, guys. So there's number 2. Just remember that on the number 1, the opposite is going down and 3 to the left. Going down 3 to the left. So on number 2, what do we do? Well, the first thing we got to do is, can we graph it? Is it in the graphing form, right? Y equals m, that's a number, x plus b. Yeah, we could graph it. It's right there. Oops, sorry, can't see it, right? We could graph it. So my starting point is going to be 0, 2, right? Mister, but we can't graph 7 over 21. Rise over run. That's too many counts, right? So let's go ahead and simplify it. All right, so we're going to simplify it. Now, if you don't know how to divide, do your multiplications. Now, the only multiplications of 7 is 7 times 1. That's the only one. And then 21 is 3 times 7. So here we have a giant 1. Or you could have divided by 7. It's the same thing, right? Divide by 7, and you still get 1 over 3. All right, 1 over 3. So now we're going to go ahead and write the equation. Write the equation over, but the m is now 1 over 3. So 1 over 3x plus 2, and then rise over run. See that? Because I already know my starting point is 0, 2. That's already my starting point. Now your m is right here. The slope, the move, that's what you're going to move. 1 over 3. All right? There you go. You guys got that? All right, here we go. Go ahead and do it. All right, here we go. Number 3. All right, so on this one, the difference between this one and the other one is there's a negative. So you're doing the same thing, guys. Y equals mx plus b, right? Y equals mx plus b. Yep, I could graph it, but wait, the b is 0, 6. That's your starting point. Remember, your starting point on the y-axis right here, 6. Okay, make sure that's your starting point. Okay, this is the orange. Okay, 0, 6. Now the m, you can't, that's going to be fall over run, right? Not rise, fall because it's negative, but you can. It's not. It's going to be too much. So let's go ahead and simplify. M equals, I know it's going to be negative, so you know what? I don't want to mess with the negative. Just leave it there, okay? So let's just go ahead and do 10 over 16. Now I could divide by 2, and it's not always 2. Sometimes it could be 3, 4, right? So 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. Can I keep going? No. So there's my answer, negative 5 over 8x. And don't forget, it's the same 6. All right, it's the same 6. So remember, what are we doing? We're falling. We're not rising. So you got to fall 5 and then run 8. Fall 5, run 8. Fall 5, run 8. All right, so that's, go ahead and graph it, and then I'll help you in a bit. So go ahead and do that right now. This one. So again, for this one, what do? You're going to have to write y equals mx plus b. All right, and your starting point is 0, -9. Right? 0, -9. That's your starting point on your y-axis. Your, okay, that's going to be your y-intercept right here, -9. Okay, now 2 over 16, that's going to be rise over run, but you can't, right? Because it's going to be outside the graph. So you need to simplify the m, make it simpler, you know? Okay, so here we go. Y equals 2 over 16. Now I could divide by 2, which is 1 over 8. And now I could graph, that's going to be rise over run. See that? But what's the new equation? That was the question. So y equals, it's no longer 2 over 16. You're going to replace it with 1 over 8x minus 9. And again, rise over run. And then go ahead and graph it. Rise over run. The change of y over the change of x. All right, go ahead and do that. Make sure you're writing this on the notebook. So again, the graph here was the change of y over change of x, aka rise over run, right? So you're going to rise 1 and then 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See that? And then you're going to fall 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you'll get it. So you should have 3, 1 in the middle and 1 and 1 on the side. So your graph should be going like this, up. All right? So check it, make sure you have it like that, and then we'll go ahead and do number 5. So let's go ahead, and this is number 5. Y equals negative 10 over 2. So I'm going to put the negative on top, all right, over 2x. Now, can I graph it? Y equals mx plus b. Yep, I could graph it. But what's your b? What's your b? There's nothing. So what is it? Your starting point is 0, 0. So it's right there. Okay, 0, 0. Good job. Now we got to simplify this. All right. So we know it's going to be a negative, but what's 10 over 2? Well, I'm going to divide by 2, and that's going to be 5 over 1. And remember, what's 5 over 1? 5. So your equation should look like this. 5x. That's it. You don't have to put over 1 because we do that. Remember when we graph, we put over 1. We do that when there's nothing. All right, so for the most part, just go ahead and just leave it like that. So down over 1. Okay, down over 1. And then go ahead and graph it. So see how far you got to, how close you got to the right answer, and or if you were way off. All right, so let's check it out and then do it, and I'll come back to do the graph. All right, so we're going to go ahead and finish this graphing. So again, your starting point is 0, 0. But remember, you're falling now over 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And that's only half of the graph with the arrow. Now you got to do the opposite. Instead of falling, you're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Okay? Go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Okay, so that's the other half of the graph. Okay, because if you went up and then 5 to the right, then it would actually be a crooked graph. See, it wouldn't be a linear graph. See, it'll be like, So that's like way off. All right, so that's it. We'll see you guys soon. All right, later.